Hi learners, welcome. This is Padmaja, Dr. Padmaja Mendu, and today we are going to discuss about a simple topic, that is dipole moment. I'm going to discuss in detail about dipole moment. So before that, please subscribe to my channel to have more valuable videos, and definitely these videos will be helpful for you. I'm going to explain all these concepts in a very simple way to understand and to remember. You can solve any difficult questions even if you follow my videos. Please subscribe, like, and share. Now let us discuss about today's topic, that is dipole moment. So dipole moment is a vector quantity and it is indicated with first point. Let us take a molecule, example HCl. And here hydrogen and chlorine, the bond is a covalent bond. But if you see, hydrogen is less electronegative, whereas chlorine is more electronegative. So because of that reason, chlorine will get a partial negative charge, whereas hydrogen will get a partial positive charge. Means the bonded pair of electrons will be pulled towards chlorine. So chlorine will get a partial more electron density on it. That's why it gets a negative charge. At the same time, hydrogen gets less electron density on it than they required. So it gets partial positive. In such cases, we can define dipole moment. So then the molecule is to be existing dipole moment, and it can be calculated by using a simple formula Q times D, where Q is called charge. So charge of the charge which is separated here, and is the distance between the charges. And one more formula we can use here, that is delta times distance. Okay. Next, second point, here mu is a vector quantity. So dipole moment is expressed with mu, and mu is a vector. Means it has both direction and magnitude. So we used to indicate it with a line arrow, then with a line. And it has units. These units are d by. The units for mu value are d by. So 1 d by is equal to, the value is 3.33 times 10 power minus 30. The units are coulomb meter. Okay, the value is this one, and the units are coulomb meter. Units are coulombs meter. So charge is indicated with coulombs and distance is indicated with meter. So that you have to remember when you want to do problems. So it has to be useful. Now, what is the value of 1 d by 3.33, 10 power minus 30 coulomb meters. Okay, now let's move to continuation. What are the uses? How can you implement the dipole moment concept to the molecules? Let us see dipole moment and molecules. What we can understand with the help of dipole moment. What type of properties of molecules can be explained? First, I will discuss in two different cases. The first case is, let us take molecules with a single polar bond. With a single polar bond. Then what happens? Let's see. The same case, if I take hydrogen fluoride, bonded pair will be pulled by this, so it becomes polar bond now. And the direction here, the dipole moment direction is this side. So net dipole moment will be present. Okay, the value will be present. So that means what? In whenever the molecules are having with a single polar bond, so definitely they possess dipole moment. They have dipole moment. Very clear, very simple. Just remember, whenever any molecules are having a single polar bond, definitely they used to have dipole moment. Next, molecules with two or more polar bonds. So the second case I'm going to discuss whenever the molecules are having two or more polar bonds. Again, in these two cases I'm going to discuss. First one is if molecules are symmetric. If molecules are symmetric, then what happens? Even though they have polar bonds, if they are symmetric. First example, carbon dioxide. Here between carbon and oxygen, there is electronegativity difference. Automatically there exists polar bonds. This is a polar bond. So here oxygen is more electronegative. So carbon will get positive charge. And see the direction of dipole moment is here in this way and in this direction this way. And whenever you say vector quantity, when they are in opposite direction, their net value becomes 0. That is the reason why the net dipole moment in carbon dioxide is 0. So they both will get cancelled. That's why even though it is a polar bond, the net dipole momentum of carbon dioxide is 0. Let us take one more example of the same. Second example, CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. So carbon tetrachloride is having tetrahedral geometry. And in this case, chlorines are more electronegative. And a dipole moment you can show in this direction. But if you see it is a symmetrical structure. So whenever you say it's a symmetrical structure, the net dipole moment value again becomes 0. That means it is non-polar. It is non-polar. Net dipole moment value is 0, so it's a non-polar. Now let's see the second case. When the molecules are unsymmetrical. So example, water. In water, you see it has a bent shape. It has bent shape. And the dipole moment direction is this. Oxygen is more electronegative. So net dipole moment value doesn't not equal to 0. That means it's a polar molecule. It is a polar molecule. And second example, we take ammonia, where in ammonia, nitrogen is electronegative element. So the dipole moment direction will be towards nitrogen. And even it has a lone pair. So net dipole moment value will be not equal to 0. That means again it is a polar molecule. It is a polar molecule. Okay. So remember these three cases, very simple. If a molecule is having a single polar bond, definitely they possess dipole moment. And if you say the dipole moment is existing, you can say blindly it's a polar molecule. And the second case, whenever there are more than one polar bonds, then you have to check for their symmetry. If they are arranged in symmetrical way, then the net dipole moment, because opposite side vectors will be get cancelled. So that is the reason why whenever you take a symmetrical structure, net dipole moment becomes 0, like methane, CCl4, carbon dioxide, etc. BCl3, can write more examples where the net dipole moment will be 0. Boron trichloride, boron trifluoride, CH4, all these are examples where they have symmetrical arrangement of, that means they will get cancelled together even though they have polar bonds. And whenever the molecules have unsymmetrical arrangement of atoms, then the net dipole moment doesn't equal to 0, because the direction of vector is in a different fashion. They are not quite opposite. So that's why the net dipole moment will be remaining. They access polar molecules. Okay, those are the basic concepts about dipole moment, and based on the dipole moment, how to find a molecule is polar, non-polar. Now let us see what are the applications of dipole moment. Applications of dipole moment. The first application, you can find whether a molecule is polar or non-polar. Using dipole moment value, you can check whether molecule is a polar or non-polar. Very simple. If a molecule is having dipole moment, then definitely it is a polar molecule. It is a polar molecule. And the second thing, you can say that you can calculate very important percentage of ionic bond. Percentage of ionic bond can be calculated with the help of dipole moment. So ionic character, percentage of ionic character is equal to mu experimental value, means dipole moment value, experimental value and theoretical value times 100. If you use this formula, you can calculate percentage of ionic bond. Even though it's a covalent bond, there exists some percentage of ionic bond. That ionic bond percentage can be calculated with the help of this one. And next thing is, with the help of dipole moment, cis and trans isomers can be identified. Cis and trans isomers. If it is a cis isomer, the mu value will be more than trans isomer. Mu dipole moment value for cis isomers are more than that of trans isomers. Similarly, you can even, fourth point I'm going to write here, application, although meta and para compounds in aromatic compounds, although meta and para can be identified with the help of dipole moment. Example, if I take dichlorobenzene, if it is ortho and generally if it is para any compound, then the dipole moment value will be 0. And ortho is having more dipole moment than meta. So in this way, you can distinguish if they gave you the values of different isomers. I mean, example, this is para. So mu value is 0. Next is ortho dichlorobenzene, meta dichlorobenzene. And if you see the values, ortho dichlorobenzene is having 2.54 dBs, and the value of meta dichlorobenzene is 1.48. So what is the order here? This is having more. So generally ortho directing groups, ortho functional groups are having more dipole moment value than meta, and generally para will be having 0. So in this way, you can apply dipole moment concept to know the nature of molecules in various ways. Now let us see few questions on dipole moment. So the first question is, which of the following molecule has maximum dipole moment? So they gave you 4 molecules here. Let me explain the first question. They gave 4 molecules: ammonia, hydrogen trifluoride, CH4 and CO2. And let us see the structures. First, I'm going to take carbon dioxide, where carbon dioxide is symmetrical, so net dipole moment value is 0. So it doesn't have dipole moment. Second one, I'm going to methane, and here methane is also having symmetrical structure. So net dipole moment value is 0. So no dipole moment. Now let us see ammonia, and very important concept here, and which is having more dipole moment out of these two. Generally what we will expect, hydrogen fluorine is highly electronegative, so NH3 must be having more dipole moment than NH2. But in general, what we observe is ammonia is having more dipole moment than NF3. Let's see. Out of all this, who is having highest dipole moment? Ammonia. Answer is ammonia. The reason I'm going to explain here. Here, fluorines are more electronegative than nitrogen, so they will pull bonded pair of electrons towards themselves, and this is the direction of dipole moment. Okay, and here the dipole moment will be in this direction. That means what? Because of this lone pair, it is opposite to the direction of the dipole moment of the remaining three fluorines. So it is subtracting the total value. That is the reason why mu value is less in case of trifluoro. Now let's see in this case, the dipole moment direction is this. Because nitrogen is more electronegative than hydrogen, so the dipole moment, and it will be adding. Here dipole moment is adding due to lone pairs are adding. Due to lone pair is adding up to total value. That is the reason why ammonia is having more electronegativity than NF3. Very, very, very important point. Please remember. So, even though fluorine is more electronegative, we expected whenever there is more electronegativity, automatically dipole moment will also more. But in contrast, what we observe here, NH3 is having more dipole moment than NF3. The reason is here the lone pairs you have to consider. And the dipole moment due to lone pairs is adding up in case of NH3, whereas subtracting in case of NF3. That is the reason why ammonia is more having more dipole moment than nitrogen trifluoride. Now let's see the second question. Which of the following molecules are having zero dipole? That you can guess. So NF3 is non-symmetrical. H2 is also doesn't have a symmetrical geometry, and HF almost single polar band, so it will be having dipole moment. Whereas carbon dioxide, is a symmetrical structure, so it is dipole moment value is 0. The answer here is carbon dioxide. Next, let's see next question. That is, arrange the following molecules with increasing order of dipole moment. Now let's see the third question. So they gave you HCl, HBr, HF, and HI. They are asking you to arrange in increasing order of dipole moment. And we know here with increasing, the very simple logic you remember, with increasing polarity, bond polarity, mu value increases. Mu value increases. So when this polarity increases, whenever electronegativity difference is more. Electronegativity difference is more. In this case, you can observe fluorine is highly electronegative. So HF is having highest and iodine is having least. So HI is less than HBr, which is less than HCl, which is less than HF. So this is increasing order of dipole moment. And the values, if you want, you can note it down. And the value of HI is 0.4D, 0.8D, 1.1D, and this is 1.8D. So HF is having highest dipole moment. The answer for this question is this one. You have to arrange in this way. Now let's move to the next question. That is, the dipole moment of HBr is 160 in 10 power minus 30, and the interatomic space is 1.41 angstrom minutes. What is the percentage ionic character? Let us calculate percentage ionic character. Let's solve this problem. What they gave you in the data, let's see. They are asking to calculate, they gave HBr for the question. They gave HBr mu experimental value, that is 2.60 times 10 power minus 30 coulombs meter. And what else they gave you? They are given interatomic space, means D value they give. What they gave? 1.41 tan 10 power minus 10 meters. And what they are asking? They are asking percentage of hand character. We have only mu expected, so we have to calculate mu theoretical value. How can we calculate mu theoretical? So charge of the electron charge times distance. So what is the charge of the electron? 1.6 times 10 power minus 19 coulombs times, what is the distance that they gave you in the problem? 1.41 times 10 power minus 10 meters. So this thing you need to do extra here. When you simplify this, you are going to get the theoretical value, that is 2.26 times 10 power minus 29 meters. Now let's write the percentage of ionic character. I. What is the formula for this? Mu experimental dipole moment divided by theoretical or observed dipole moment times 100. So substitute the values. 2.60, this is coulomb meters. 2.60 times 10 power minus 30 coulomb meters divided by, and theoretical value is 2.26 times 10 power minus 29 coulombs meter. Simplify this one and you are going to get the value 0.12 times 100 times 100 times 100, that equal to 12%. The answer for this question is 12%. So in this way, whatever the problem they will ask you on the dipole moment, please watch the video again and again and you can solve easily. So definitely you can solve easily. So it is very important applications we have with the dipole moment, and most of the times they're asking you in the exam also, entrance exams. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and share to your friends and like. Thank you.